All praises to the Most High, YAHAWAH. Welcome, brothers and sisters. It is good to be here. Shalom, shalom. I'm not quite sure what time it is. 9:31. Give me a one if you can hear me and see me well. I am quite late. Family, man. Give me a one if you can hear and see me well. Thank you so much, brethren. My sincere apology. My sincere apology. And we have at the last moment, family want to go ahead and do something together, and we had visitors from Tallahassee, and then they came in. We had to entertain them, so that's what happened. Uh, yes, and you know what? Let me just. We have a couple of people that sent email. Uh, I believe the beloved brother Michael Shannon sent an email for his appreciation, and we are here and almost every night, brother. But the thing is, when you're on the Mosai clock, you really cannot set a specific plan. Back then, I would have done anything to be here if it was for my own vain glory. But when it comes to the Mosai, you know, we just do whatever it tell us to do. Okay. I'm not looking at the shot. Ended. Here's a link to my backup. I'm live now. Oop. There we go. There we go. What's going on? Good, good, good. So yeah, certain things we thought like we can go ahead and do, and the most I say no, that's not what I want. You want us to do everything in a specific time, in a specific way. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome. We are about to discuss the heavy burden of the Hebrews and the pillar of fire. And yesterday we did study the party and understand when back then, thousands of years ago, where people were partying, it's no difference than now. It's no difference. Everything that all the stories that you heard, and again, like I said, there are certain things I don't want to bring to the family because they are way too disgusting and backward. There's one of the podcasts that we had that we were talking about the righteous pleasure and then wicked pleasure, and we know Shem Yaza is in the midst of wicked pleasure. So uh, always put this in mind. Some of us, we never like to go in parties. We never like to be around people drinking and smoking because it was embedded in our DNA, in our mind, in our heart, not to be like this. And some of us, that's all we can do. That's all we can think about. And all those things that happened thousands of years ago, they're not new. They're still happening today. You still have people partying in that kind of way, people drinking until they can't walk. Uh, know for a fact that I'm down there in South Florida, Miami, and South Beach, Fort Lauderdale, which I used to have business running down there. And I'm quite familiar with all those type of things. In fact, I have it seemed I might have it's like a tainted memory of certain things that happened down there. I still clearly can remember what happened during those parties, and it went out of line very quickly. And you cannot judge those people because if you are not one of them, it make no sense for you to be in the midst of them because they will shock you. they will shock you. You probably, when the guys say exhibition of buffoonery, you yourself, you thought buffoonery was like some dude coming over there and crash a bottle in his head or something like that. But when you see what they meant by exhibition of buffoonery, okay, like, yo, this is not my thing. I can't be here. But all those things that happened back then, they are still happening now. It's no difference, and you will see the what the Hebrews were going through in form of slavery and stuff. It's very similar to what we are going here. The way they set up the system back then is the same here. Where they put us in the hood and the ghetto. They had the hood and the ghetto for the Hebrews. They had a specific place for them to stay in, and if they ever seen one of them downtown, they will have the taskmaster, which means the police. They'll have the police kill them. Okay, if you ever seen a Hebrew somewhere like the beautiful places we used to describe, you have the right to call the police, the taskmasters, and they will take care of it. It's no difference than what's going on here. So it's just a mirror image of everything that happened. Now, brothers, we have so much going on at one time. I'm receiving multiple emails. Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm receiving multiple emails about things going on in the third part, such as uh the whole business with Russia and that other fellow. And we receive email about this the NFL football player fellow. He kills five people, then he killed himself. Like we said before, brothers, the Mosai is rooted out. The two-third is rooted out the bad fruit. Those A lot of those people, they look like us, they talk like us, but they are not us. And it's getting really, really bad, really wild for them out there. And we know for a fact that the Mosai is in the midst of us, is in the midst of all of this. He's doing that. So all we can do is bow unto his will and submit with our heart. We cannot fight the power of the Mosai. It's impossible. We can't. I don't know about you, but I can. I did try though. I did try to fight the Mosai's will. I did everything that I could. I could not succeed. And what I want to succeed, because the Mosai's will is stronger. Okay, there are certain things that I pray the Mosai. I'm like, Mosai Father, please don't let this happen to my people, your people, our people. He let it happen. Then it showed me why he let it happen. Then I learned not to stand in his way, not to question him. It is all right to question the Mosai on certain things that you do not understand, but you never question the authority of the Mosai. You never question him. Why did you do this? I've been doing this. I've been fasting and praying. Why did question you? Say, Father, am I doing something wrong? I'm doing everything, right, but these things happen, and it's kind of like it crushed my spirit. Why is it happening, Father? And He will give you the answer why it's happening. Okay, and like I told you, I'm one of those guys that used to be angry at the Mosai when he did something, like I was pissed off when I was praying for something to go against a certain things, and then that thing actually went right. Then I find out that what the Mosai was doing is mocking this person. The Mosai mocked this person, the Mosai mocked that person. All right, give me a second. I'm getting to hmm, why this is. That's it. Oh, actually, it's one. Okay. Okay. All right. So Canada is actually they are in lockdown. France, Paris, they are in lockdown. A lot of places on lockdown, brothers. One of the reason why I do not like to discuss those things on these channels because they are too quote unquote political. Anytime certain names, certain countries, if you say their name here, certain people, like that little fellow with that little single mustache here, if you say his name here, brethren, they will shut you down. They will say you are projecting and encouraging hatred upon a group of people. There are certain things that you cannot say. There are certain things like you have to be very careful when you're talking. Now, because of that, this book, The Pillar of Fire, which another word mean Yasharala and bondage. So if you see me saying the word Yasharala, it just mean Ish. Because if we say the real word and this the AI on this video will think like we're spreading hatred and all that. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, at 10 p.m., somebody will remind us to sanctify the fast and call on upon the Most High and be there to have respect unto it as the witness, and we will blow the shofar to completely close and sanctify the fast. As it the sun is down pretty much in all over except for California, things like that. Thank you, beloved sister Shirley Green. The third testament from Elder Yamel, One Nation, One Power, Georgia. You may go to the website; they put it in the link. You may buy this book, the third testament. As of now, as of today, and I have not been moved to go over there and bring it to the nation. Whoever is out there, bring it to the nation. Let the nation know these brothers out there. He's being real. Let them know, because each of us brothers have a very specific task that the Most High give us. Like I explained this, so some of the people that are new, let me say this again. The Most High have multiple people out there. He have disciples, he have apostles, he have prophets, which is all of them. He have dogs, he have cats, he have all sort of things going on out there. And he have angels. We don't know which one is who, which one is this, but each of them has a specific duty. For instance, if somebody bring the book of the third testament and they already go in there and explain what's going there, and if I go into it, there will be contradiction. Why? Because all books have bones in it. Chew the meat, spit out the bones. That's a certain book. I don't bring them to the nation. Other brothers bring them. The Most High anointed them to do that. Was the story real? Is the story that we're reading here real? We don't know. We go by faith. We go by what the Most High gave us, and we don't question Him and everything. We just take it. We study to show ourselves approved. I'm not the guy that's going to sit there and act like, oh, I can break scripture down and stuff. You have to learn it from me. If I don't say anything about the third testament, or if the beloved brother they are here or whatever, but no, I don't say things like that. Like I told you, every single person in here is smarter than me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just submit my heart unto the Lord, and He sent the Holy Spirit in the midst of us. Every single person that are here, that are awake, if you are awake, quote unquote, there's a part of the Holy Spirit in you. That is why you can see things other people cannot see. That is why when you see other people, they are afraid, they are dismayed, and you are very calm. Brothers, you have no idea how many people out there that are definitely afraid because of the things that's going on out there, the new strain, that stuff going on in Myanmar, the Ukraine, and that Russia out over there. Okay, so you got to be very, very, very careful when not to mess with those things, because if you do certain things, you might say, and the Most High will snatch the Holy Spirit from your soul, from your body, and then you will become just like them. And what I'm saying here for that, those are for those of the people that are new. If in any way, in any shape or form, the Holy Spirit move you to these channels and you find out something about me personally that you don't like, something that make you uncomfortable, please just unsubscribe, just leave and go another place that you will feel comfortable, because there are certain things that I will say it will not make you comfortable, because that's what the Most High does. If I said anything that is a little bit off, because we have a way of doing things here. First and foremost, we don't give credits to men, the so-called Illuminati, the elite. They are not doing this. They have no control of this. They don't know what the higher one, the priesthood of Mahan, knew, but the so-called U.S. government and all of those guys, the little CIA, FBI, they have no idea what's going on. They receive order from the big boss. the priest of Mahan, and the priest of Mahan received from Satan, and Satan received it for the higher power, the one that we'll worship. Our Father is the one who control everything, the boss of bosses. So if certain things I might say, some of you are political or part of certain political party, it's gonna be offended to you. Okay, so and then one thing you know, Big Leaf, I don't take hits from people. You don't come over here and tell me this is brother. Why are you going to this book? It's old. Don't go into it. Don't buy from Amazon because I don't buy from them because I hate Jeff Bezos is a globalist and stuff. You should no. Don't come with me with that garbage. And I would call you out. I would call you out. People are falsely accusing me of things that I didn't do. For instance, people keep saying I'm removing the comments and stuff. I remove a hell of a lot of comments. Comments that give praises to Illuminati and all that. Oh, oh yeah, the vaccine and stuff and then stuff like that. I'll remove your comment. I'll let you know this. Don't be posting anything here that take credit from the Most High. Other people put certain things, I don't remove them. Either they get a flag or the AI remove them. So for you to accusing me and say, why we are all servant, you are blocking my shine. You're blocking me from shining. We don't give shine here. We only give shine to the Most High name. We don't give shout outs and credits. Oh, this brother bought this book and all that. We don't do this. Now, with that being said, brothers, we are going to go into the book of Pillars of Fire, letter 5. We have letter 5 here. I was reading letter 6. Really? No, letter 6. Is that what that is? Yes, letter 6. Letter 6. I was reading letter 7 today. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, before we begin, let us all give all praises to the Most High and exalt his name. What we are doing here, it's called worship, brothers. Worship doesn't necessarily mean you putting some gospel garbage music and then go in a corner with a bottle of wine and then passed out. That's not what that is. Water. Give the Most High all praises. We can begin. Now, thank you, brothers. Thank you, sisters. Let us move in. Now, in the previous letter 5, we learn about Egypt. We learn about Egypt military might, and we learn about their parties and their festivity. We learn about Ramesses, aka Moses. We learn about the queen. We learn about the things that they used to do back then properly. Now, brothers, let us move to the next one. This is letter 6. This is Sesostris writing to his mother, page 67. He is the prince of Phoenicia, and Epithia is the queen of Phoenicia. So he is writing to his mother, and this is what he said. My dear and honored mother, this morning I was about leaving the palace in order to spend several hours in traversing the city on foot, that I might see the citizens and the pursuits and observe the manner and custom of these people. Now, for those of you, which one of you remember that book, Manner and Customs? Let's see. Manners and Custom of the People of the Bible. Anybody remember that book? I have it here. Boy, I have so many books here. Boy, I wish I had an assistant. But my daughter, you might tell her go pick up that book, Manner and Assistant, and she bring you a bag of cookies. So that kid, I can't do this. Well, anyway, that book, brothers. So we really need to go on that book anytime the Most High move into this. So the prince Ramesses rode up in his silver and bossed chariots. Okay. Himself his own charioteer, 2 footmen carrying his sandals in their left hand, running by the side of his superb horses, with that absence form in ceremony which belonged to true friendship. He did not wait for me to order my grand chamberlain and other chief officers by retinue to receive him, but came straight of the room at the alabaster, so called from its alabaster column. Okay, so now Sesostris is about to move with Moses. They're about to go out for a walk. They're about to see the city and things like that. Now he saw Moses is riding, well, Ramesses. Let's refer to him about Ramesses. He saw Ramesses riding his chariot, and then on his right side there's a servant that hold Ramesses' sandals on their left hand, and they were advancing towards so they could go out and things like that and go ahead and chill, which was my reception room, and the windows of which he had seen me on the street. I met him at the door at the empty room, and when I would have saluted him by laying his hand against my heart and then raised it to my lips, he embraced me with affection. Now, brothers, again, like I said before, when there are certain things, people, manners and customs of certain countries, certain places, I have somebody give me another camera. A brother Patrick, I believe. Patrick sent me a camera. Beautiful. At 10, brothers remind me to sanctify the fast. So back then, when you meet royalty, there's a certain way you have to address to them. So the king, like I said this before, they will extend their hand, and then you will take the king hand, and then you bow your head onto it, or you kiss the king hand. This is this is a sign of submission, a sign of you are higher than me, and I respect that. This has nothing to do with romantic things, because you see on TV the men always kiss the women hand, and some people say that mean he attracted to her and he in love with her. Those are garbage. That's not what that means. That's like a form of submission. Any one of you saw that movie, the first one, Planet of the Apes? Not the first one, the first modern one. The fellow named Caesar, not Spencer though. Caesar, the one that have the motion capture. There was a big ass gorilla in there. This gorilla was the bully in that place, and then Caesar outsmarted him, and then there's a submission that the ape does where Caesar will extend his hand, and then the ape will scratch his hand. That means he submit. That's what that means. Okay, it's a sign of respect. So when he saw Moses, he want to show Moses respect. He about to take Moses' hand and put a hand in his heart. This is very important. Like we told you, the heart is probably the most important organ, for some of us. I mean, for some of us, the heart is the most important organ, but to Big Levi is the most like the second most important organ. So now with the person put this in your heart, that means he respect and submit unto you. That means nothing else. All right. Okay. Now, while he was doing that, brothers, and he was trying to do this, but Moses tell him no. Moses say, brother, I did told you, we are the same. We are royalty. We are equals. You are my cousins. When it comes to this, you don't have to do this here. We're good together, and then we're good. So he said, all right, well, they shake hands. He say, ride with me. Let me show you. We are going to go. There is a construction that's going on. They are going to see the construction of a new city, of a new palace that Moses is building. But the architect is over there. The Egyptians, they are known as grand architects. And when I say grand architect, brothers, I literally mean grand architect, like some type of master architect, like somebody that builds building. I don't mean anything related to the Freemason or things like that, or checkerboard, or no, this nonsense. Now, again, this is water. Now, he say, no, noble sestress. Okay. He told him not to do this, and then they are equal. I am planning a new palace to be erected there for the governor of the treasury of the kingdom, and I am to meet today to chief architect. Will you accompany me? And Moses asking, are you coming with me? Say, with pleasure, my prince. And then I said, thought I just proposed to walk about the city among the people and see them in their homes and domestic pursuits. So he's been in Egypt for 6 weeks. Is that what that is? 4 to 6 weeks. He just wanted to go around and see the people and see how he's Phoenician. He's from Phoenicia. He's 28 years old. He came to study, and he told Moses, all right, man, I was gonna go about and just, see what's going on in the city and things like that. I might as well go with you. I might go with you and then stuff. Moses said, okay, do you want me to call one of those guys so you can ride with him in your own chariot and then have a driver? He said, no, let me ride with you. And then he get in the car with Moses, and then again, what they call back then is called a car because it's pulled by 2 horses. So he got in the car with Moses, and then they are going to see the architect and that a little bit far off place, so where they are building the palace and things like that. So at this gate, they get to the gate, okay? At this gate, they are riding forward. At this gate stood the phalanx of dark Libyan soldiers who form everywhere, the guards of the gates being noted both for faithfulness and for their gigantic size. Libyan soldiers, again, brothers, they changed the name of a lot of people back then. And we know when they say gigantic sizes, they were talking about freaking giant. Those guys were big. They were big. Reason why they say giant, brothers, reason why we say giant, we know those guys were giant, because that happened at least 1,000 years before Abbasis. Before that happened, I would say that happened a couple 100 years before Joshua. And Joshua was going there to take over the land and killing a bunch of giants, including Moses, not even a couple 100 years. Oh, it's 10 o'clock, is it? Including Moses. Moses killed Og, right? The baddest giant of the bad, Og the giant. We have the book of Og. Anytime we have time, the Most High move us, we'll read the book of Og. Moses killed Og. Og was a giant. So Bashan, the city Bashan and all that place, brothers, they used to have giants over there walking and stuff like that. The giants were in the midst of them by this time. Sesostris was alive. It's time. So, all right, 10 o'clock, brothers, let us sanctify the fast and give glory to sanctify repent from our sin, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Okay, let us sanctify and glorify the name of the Most High and exalt his name. We are now calling upon Abedel, the great witness, to assist us. Thank you for reminding us of the fast that we were going today to repent from our sins, to repent for the sins of our ancestors, for the sins of Abiram, the sins of Dathan, the one that were in the desert, the one that did not open, the one that they did not open the heart. We repent and resent on their behalf, and we're hereby sanctify this fast with the blowing of the shofar. May the Most High look upon this fast upon all of us. May he have respect unto it. May he have respect unto every single person, and then give us that great deliverance, which we see he is working on it. All right, brethren, the fast is now sanctified. All right. Good. Now, talking about that fast, we are going to go on a little praise report and things like that. We'll go on a little break at after 2 hours, I believe. After 1 hour and a half, we're going to break. And for those of you, that are doing the $5 challenge with us, this Saturday we are going to put $30 in. Okay, this Saturday we are going to put $30 in. So this is the money for the to to teach us discipline and focus on the Most High. So I put it in there and then put it with the shofar. So right now we should have at least, let me see how much money we should have in there. Thank you again for the beloved sister that sent us this great shofar. The Most High is very happy. You know, the Most High love music. And we blow the shofar. And for those of you that are doing the $5 challenge with us, you should have, let me see how much money you should have in there. I believe today is like our 6 weeks, 5 weeks in, I believe. Okay. And we have a couple praise. I think we have one praise report or one certain other things that I want the nation to know. Certain people that want the nation to know certain things that they are going through. And now, yeah, with the 52 weeks challenge, we are on the week 5. Week 5, you should have somewhere around $75 in, or you can have more than that, but you should have $75. This Saturday the 10th, you will put $10 in, so to speak. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, with that being said, brothers, let us read one of the emails that one of the sisters sent us. Oh, it was oh boy. All right, I believe it was brother Caleb. Okay, this is from brother Caleb Crown. Okay. Peace unto you, brother. I have learned we must pay attention to see the benefits of the Most High holy days, to understand the power within them. This morning around 4 a.m., I decided to eat my unleavened bread before the beginning of the Thursday fast. I realize that I have not been hungry or thirsty all day. I have been satisfied and eager to praise the Most High for his blessed feast and unleavened bread. So that's one of the thing, brothers. The Most High strengthen us, okay, for us to go through certain things, because we're all the only people that have the body to endure this type of we had the body to endure this type of torture, and we're still strong. We're still going strong. Slavery, 400 years, 430 years in the time of Egypt, 400 years now, till now, we're still going strong. So the brother didn't feel any type of thing that, he didn't feel any pressure to eat. Just as the experience of being with charge from turning my feet to the Sabbath. So the Mosai is truly great. His way are more powerful than anything the Babylonians can present to us. All praises to the Mosai. Understand this, brothers. All praises. Yes, the Mosai, he, instead of the brother want to eat, he wants to praise and give the Mosai all praises. He wants to give the Mosai praise. And then he was praising the Mosai. So that's a good thing, brother. That's a good thing. Okay, that is a good thing. For our brethren to do this, it is a good thing. Let me see. We got another one from the beloved brother Michael Shannon. Shalom, Big Levi. It is brother Michael Shannon here from One Nation, One Power up here in Boston, Massachusetts. Just wanted to say to you, brother, how happy I am. The Holy Spirit led me to your channel in the last few days. My spirit has been encouraged and lifted, and you guys, Elder Ayah, Big Judah, leading the way. I feel very blessed, especially as a Gentile. So to have the honor of cleaving unto Israel. All praises to the Most High. It's been an amazing journey. Our Father is incredible. I would love to fellowship sometime with you and share my testimony with you. Just wanted to reach out, brother, and say thank you for what you doing and your dedication to the service of the Most High. May YAHAWAH bless you, always keep you in my prayers. Please do the same. I will be on your stream tonight if you have one. Shalom. All praises to the Most High. That's what we need, brothers. That's why we need the people to praise the name of the Most High. We need the Gentiles to cleave unto us and cling and give praises to the Most High. More than likely, brothers, this is one of the lost sheep. We don't know if their heart is open, which I feel the brother heart is open. He's a Gentiles. He cleave unto the nation. He cleave unto our Father. And the book and all the Mosiah said, he's safe. Just like all of us, he's safe. Now, for those of you Gentiles that are watching this and you are finding you don't want to bend the heart of the knees, you don't want to uncover your heart, you don't want to do this, you want to follow oblivion, so be it. But and we have the Mosiah, the Holy Spirit just brought on one of the child home and let the child be with us. He may look different, but he's a child of the Mosiah. He chose the Mosiah to be his father. Remember, Cain and Abel brothers were both children of the Mosiah. Cain is a son of the Mosiah, but Cain cut off himself from the Mosiah. He chose Satan to be his father. He called Satan father. He hate the Mosiah. So, we got people that, our own people that hate the Mosiah, they do the same. You got people that hate Cain, they call the Mosiah their father. So all praises to the Most High, brothers. We are very happy and humble to have the beloved brother here. Let us study with him. Let us enlighten each other. Let us move forward and exalt the name of the Most High. That's our only job. Now, before that, brothers, I'm receiving a lot of testimonies and calls from Gentiles that cleave unto the nation. And brothers, listen, if you are Gentiles out there, if you are not doing this, I don't know what you're waiting on. Some of them, brothers, they are waiting for proof. Okay, some of them, they are waiting for proof. All right, so I have a text messages from a beloved sister. Let me read it for the nation because she need the nation to pray for her. But let me see. Oh crap, it's in my, oh boy. Oh boy, it's on the other phone. Thank you, beloved sister Shirley Moana. Thank you. I will do a lot more better to assist people that is like your husband. I didn't know we have people with disability listen, because sometimes I said words I don't I type words, I don't say them, so I will now say the words out loud, so it would be more accommodated to your husband. Thank you for so much for bringing that to my attention. Again, brothers, I keep telling you, I'm not that smart, man. I'm probably the dumbest fool you could possibly ever met. I don't know those things. Sometimes I'm doing that thing. I thought everybody is out there is just as dumb as I am. But people, I keep telling me, Brother Levi, we have a whole congregation out there. We have all sort of people listen to you. I just find out we got a community in the Philippines. I recently find out we have a community in the island of Graham. I even have children listen to me. I didn't know those things. I thought, like, a couple people were listening. Now we know there are certain people out there we have to accommodate our talk so they can hear, because some of them cannot see. Some of them are truck drivers. They're driving, so we have to say the words and then spell it so they can have the idea of we are talking. Now, brothers, let me see. Do we have anything else? Oh, the beloved brother Patrick Small sent me a beautiful camera. And then again, it's USB. I'm gonna use it on the other computer. And then sent me a beautiful clocks. The wife, brother, thank you so much. The wife love the clock. The wife love it. Let me see. Oh boy, she loved the clock. So, and then she's going to frame it. The picture of the family. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, brothers. It's very it's very beautiful, and the wife love it. And usually I will receive some type of email would tell me that I have some type of things going on. The wife told me, why don't you go check the PO box? I'm like, they didn't send anything. And then when I check it, and then this was there, they would have sent it back because it's too big, they could not put it in there. But thanks again, all praises to the Most High. Thank you. Now, brothers, we are stopping at the Giants. Now, for those of you who read and study, thank you, beloved sister Shirley Moana. Now, for those of you who read the story in the book of the throne of David, Joshua was kicking and taking name with those giants. He was killing them, those giants. And King Og, the book of King Og is too heavy. If I bring the book of King Og here, the stuff Og was saying, brothers, the Og was like a giant, a super giant Samuel L. Jackson, if you catch my drift. Yeah, right. Og hated Nimrod, and Nimrod was a giant also. Nimrod was a giant like Og, but Nimrod somehow swagger jacked the Most High too much. Brothers, it's all about ages, the ages of Abraham and Nimrod. Nimrod was after Abraham to kill him till the day Abraham, one of Abraham's son, killed Nimrod, which was Esau. Esau killed Nimrod, but I took credit for it. Yeah, I took credit, man. I was like, yo, I was like, yo, why did this guy come up? And you see, brothers, when he was describing this giant back then, the dragons, the animals, the big beasts, the floating beasts, brothers, this giant floating beasts, certain giant, those were giant were alive in that time we were reading here. They were down. That's what this says. It says, at the gate stood a phalanx of dark Libyan soldiers who formed everywhere, the guards of the gates being noted both for faithfulness and for the gigantic size, because they were giants. They were giants, and then they were guards. They were armed with lances and swords. Usually giants don't use swords. It's kind of like their law. They use axes. No giant shall use swords. Swords are a weapon of human. Giant use axes, because that is why one of the reasons the giant don't use swords, because the swords don't have the power at the same power as an axe. When you have strength, you're using a sword. Let's say a man like me battle using a sword. I don't think you can see it. This is a straw. You use a straw to beat someone, you won't feel the heaviness upon it when you hit that person. But the giant, they use axes. The axes, they were like, the head of the axes were as heavy as a boulder. So when they, hacks you and then you block it with a little sword, it will just cut off the sword. And then a lot of those guys were demons and they were spirit. That is why Methuselah, the Most High built Methuselah's sword, and then the Most High wrote his name in Methuselah's sword. And this sword is capable of killing demons, spirits. And in the movie Lord of the Ring, the third one, they show you they took the sword of Methuselah, they reconstructed, and then the king was able to go into the cave, and then he saw all those ghosts, and then one of the ghosts threatened him and tried to kill him. The ghost pull up a sword and swing at him, and he blocked the sword of the ghost. And then he actually trying to is that Endurel Nasel? Is that the name of that sword? That's the sword of Methuselah. So when Methuselah go fighting those giant, okay, they used to go ahead and hit Methuselah with the axes, heavy axes. He will block it with the sword, and there's a shock wave that come out of the sword and push those giant away and then explode them like a balloon. And this sword is somewhere. It's still there, because the name of the name of the Most High is written on it, like the purest of the pure language, like the Atlantean name of the Most High is written on it. Yeah, some type of vibranium sword like this. Beautiful stuff, brothers. When you start reading the story, you're like, oh man, wow, and you understand where those people get their stories. All right, let us move in, brothers. Okay, they were armed with lances and swords, and we have passed through the gate, paid to us the military salutation due to royalty, for through Ramesses is not the ruler of Egypt, yet he wields an influence and power, both from his personal popularity and the confidence reposed in him by the queen mother, which equal supreme dignity. And when he comes to the throne, he will rule wisely, and if possible, raise Egypt still greater glory, to a still greater glory. So now they were passing, leaving the city. At the gate, they saw those two giant, a bunch of giant Libyans. Well, the Libyans back then, they were dark skinned, so they were pretty big, and then they stand there with lances and their armors and swords in their hand. So they give Moses the military salute, and then they give Moses a salute, and then Moses pass and give them a salute. And he said, though Moses is Ramesses, he's not the ruler of Egypt yet, but they respecting him and treating him as if he was the ruler. And then again, brothers, one of the main reason you got to follow women, a female a queen, like we told you most of the time, you will understand why the Mosai did this. But when we say the Mosai is a master chess player, brothers, it's just my mind. The Mosai never ceases to amaze me. I'm like, damn, this man is good. I'm like, damn, look at what the Mosai did here. It's just he made his move 2,000-3,000 years before you make yours. And then when you make yours, his move outsmarted you. And you will understand why the Mosai let Amensi, Moses' mother, quote unquote, Egyptian mother, to rule. So as women are not interested in war and all that stuff. They really want peace and be at peace, because no women want a bunch of other millions or other men coming to attack their city and kill them and kill the other women, rape them, rob them, and kill. They don't want that. They just want peace, and they want little as less stress they can possibly imagine. When you are reading this book, brothers, you find out that the queen she not only she really don't want to be queen, she really want to push all those things onto Moses. So Moses, and then the people understand this. They saw that this is like a main job. They look at Moses, they look at Ramesses again. They look at Ramesses, which is Moses, but we refer to him here as Ramesses because he haven't taken the title Moses. They look at Ramesses as being the king, the pharaoh. And nature, yes, he was, because he was the one who taking care of everything. Only when they have a heavy matter, they will go to the queen, which the queen asked Moses, what do you think we should do? And then Moses will say this. So now the guys say, when Moses truly come in power, when it is official, he is going to take, that's the Sesostris, the Phoenician talking here. He said Moses, Ramesses, going to take Egypt to a higher level than it is right now, a more splendid level. So, and Moses is driving and stuff. I have already spoken of the remarkable air of dignity about him. A remarkable air of dignity about him, combined with infinite gracefulness. He has an excellent understanding and the distinguished Egyptians with whom I have conversed. You see what he said? He said this dude, he said Ramesses, Moses, have an excellent understanding and is distinguished from the Egyptian whom he conversed. When he talk with the other Egyptians, he saw when he talked to Ramesses, there's a big difference. Ramesses was more inclined and more academically inclined in everything. He was highly intelligent. He never met anybody like this, and they never had anybody like that in their history except for Joseph. And then we know him as Joseph. And they have a surprise name for Joseph, a Greek name. And then you understand there are more swagger jacking in this. Those people can do anything. Anyway, so he has an excellent understanding, and the distinguished Egyptians with whom I have conversed tell me that no man ever more perfectly united in his own person the virtues of a philosopher with the talents of a general. That means Moses was a warrior, and he was also a master teacher and learner. He was Moses was really polished, gentle in his manner. He is in temper rather reserved. So Moses was a very calm man. He was very gentle, and he was slow to anger. Brothers and sisters, who is very gentle and very slow to anger? But when you anger this guy, when you anger this being, he will come after you with his full might. Brothers, understand this. This is, look, listen, man. I'm like, yo, this is beautiful. Yeah, only the way they are describing this. You see, when you're reading this book, you're like, look what the Mosai did here. The Mosai give his children his characteristic. He's a highly intelligent man, very gentle, very virtuous. He's slow to anger, but when that brothers, look, if you are quote unquote not in this truth, this time that were 4,000-5,000 years ago, we are reading record here, should have been the best time for you to be alive. Right now, the Mosai is not angry. Well, I mean, as this time we were reading, and that time Mosai wasn't angry. Now does this man is pissed off. He had enough. Okay, this is page 69. This is water, not vodka. And his moral in irreproachable. His Moses' moral is irreproachable. You cannot reproach Moses' moral, Ramesses' moral. And never known a rare virtue in princes of Egypt. Basically, this man say, listen, this is a rare virtue in princes of Egypt, because usually the princes of Egypt, brothers, they are very rude and they are very self-entitled. They are very pompous Negroes. They are very pompous, and like they are that Negro that will rub it in your face. Remember, for those of you that read the book, the Nebuchadnezzar 2 tablet with us, the king Nebuchadnezzar's son, and what he was doing, brothers. Remember when he was having this not all B but all C, when he was having this all A, B, C, but the all G, and he invited all the 400 kings to help him choosing that word B or all G, and all those kings come to having this all G with the queen, so with his own wife. So, and then when he came in, what he wanted to do, brothers, well, they were having it with a bunch of young maidens. And then he was opening doors and showing them, like every woman he showed them is loaded with golds and silver, thing he stole from Jerusalem. And then he was showing them like all the golds, and he was telling all the queens, look, man. Y'all niggas, look, yes, which king you know on earth have all those things in here? And one of those guys said, yeah. One of the guys said, well, yeah, your dad had them, you kind of like inherited this, but you never fought for it, So that's why those guys known to be. They are the people. They are known. They are braggers. They like to brag how much money they have and stuff. But Ramesses is none like those guys. Okay. It's none like those guys. A rare virtue in princes of Egypt, to exceed the bounds of the most rigid temperance, candor, sincerity, affability, and simplicity seems to be the striking features of his character. Brethren, this is how Ramesses was. This is the characteristic of this fellow. He was candor. I have no idea what that word means. Candor. C-A-N-D-O. Candor. There's a candy named Kendall somewhere. Is that a place named? I know the princess, the sorceress of Endor, but Kendall, I have no idea what Kendall means. Yeah, a braggart. Yeah, a loud, arrogant boaster. Yeah, Moses is well-rounded, okay? Hey, brothers, it's not like because he received Egyptian education, you cannot educate. Brothers, did you know you truly cannot educate somebody DNA out of them? He was born like that. He was born like this. He was born smart. Some of us are like that. Kendall, C Kendor. Kendall. He was Kendall. I don't, brothers. The reason why I do this, I could have easily searched for this work. It's just we are studying together, and I like when I say something, people are typing it, find the meaning. We all help. The most I like this. If I'm being that scumbag that do all 100% of the work, this will be nothing but the freaking church. Yeah, right. Well, you only ask question and the pastor answer and stuff like that, and then later on, and have you giving up the, that tithe, and then Sister Lashonda meet me in the back room. But this is not a church. Everybody here are involved. Kendall, Candor. Somebody say that means smart. All right then. Kendall, the quality of being open and honest in expression, frankness. I am not Kendall at all. If I wasn't, I would be the biggest scumbag they had over there. I would be the guy that be honest with you and telling you how much money I give you back when you buy something for me or anything like that. I'll be the guy that swagger jack and everything because I really don't care about your ignorance. It's not my fault that I'm super smart and you are stupid and you come in there and then you buying stuff for me. I'll take your money, man. I'm not like Moses, a Kendall honest person. Oh, hell no. I will swagger jack you, then I will go to the police and lie again so I won't go to prison. That's the kind of person I am. Do not follow me, but follow the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Anyway, brothers, so this is what that means. Kendall, sincerity, affability. Somebody defining the word affability. I don't know what that means. Affability, Affability. Affability. And simplicity. Moses was not simple, brothers, but Moses he was easy and simple to understand. He wasn't that complex character. Like, this guy. He loves simplicity and being simple. I mean, Moses was AKA Papa Pimp. Anyway, seems to be the striking feature of his character. And when occasion offers, he displays, say the officers of his armies, the most determined bravery and masterly soldiership. Oh! Affability means the quality of having a friendly and good nature of manner. Okay? Affability means the quality of being friendly, having an open manner, a gentleman, so to speak. I wish I had that. Brothers, and then he says, don't take this guy for a fool. Just because you see Ramesses being all this dude, he's so simple, he's a soft-talking man, he's very smart. Don't take him for a fool. When it's time for bravery and soldiership, Moses is at the head of this, aka Ramesses, or Ramesses, aka Moses. But I'm running out of order. When I'm saying things like that, either I'm hungry or I don't have water. Jaden! Kid never hit. Baby? Babe? Yeah. I need water. Yeah. Here you go. Oh, Mom. All right. Oh, boy. Yeah, I have to yell at that kid because I had that thing in his ear playing video game. Anyway, having passed the gate, the prince drew rein little to relieve the footmen, 6 of whom run before and as many behind the chariots, besides of 2 pages of the horses who kept close to the head of the horses. Once outside the city, we were in a beautiful avenue which led through groves and gardens and past villas and ornamental lakes for half of a mile. The city for the breath being enclosed by such a belt of verdure and rural luxury. Damn, this is beautiful. All right. Thank you. That was my beloved mother bringing me quote unquote water. H2O. Then again, I always have to say not vodka because people are always accusing me of being drunk online. Brothers, sisters, I'm gonna keep saying this. Whoever said water has no energy in it can go shove a living snake up. Look, Brothers, they are going outside the city. The city on both sides have garden, groves of oranges, trees, and fruits, and beautiful. The streets is all well paved. And the two guys that was following them, Moses give the signal. All the 6-foot men go back inside of the city. Now Moses staying with Ramesses, staying with the sostries, and then they are going forward. And then the guys are retrieving. And brothers, it is so beautiful. Both of the side of the city are so many stuff going half of a mile, brothers. Do you imagine if Big Levi was up, alive in this time, riding a little chariot? There are apples, pomegranates, mangoes, and stuff. Well, I would never get out of that city with a freaking bucket and loaded that thing with fruit. Oh, I would have drank all those. I would have eat all those things because the food was pretty much everywhere in this part of the city. Brothers, when they are describing this place, this has nothing to do with that place that you saw over there in Egypt, in that desert place. This place is beautiful. There are fruits going around and things, All right, things like that. So they left the city. They are like 1 mile away, and then they're on the luxury port, but they are going somewhere. Brothers, they are leaving the luxury port. They are going somewhere, close to some places. We will soon find out where they are going. Here, say Ramesses, dwell the nobles and the intense heats of summer. The summer palaces of my mother is on the island of Woda between On and Memphis and the Nile. Now, brothers, understand this. When we have to keep beating that dead horse. When Ramesses say here, he look and say, hey, Sosostris, look here. Over there, those are the nobles, those rich people. That's why they're staying at. And the summer, he say in the summer houses because they have multiple houses. He say they're in the rich neighborhood now. Moses say, hey, this is the places of the nobles. This is the summer houses. My mother have a summer house, but it's in the island of between the island that is between Egypt, between the Nile, Memphis, and Egypt, Memphis and the city of On. Brothers, does Egypt over there have island? Do they have island close to the close to Memphis? I don't know, man. Which shows you everything this guy is describing. You're like, wait a minute, this place has nothing. What the hell? This has nothing to do with this Egypt over there in Africa, an island. The mother have a. This is more like it's brothers. When what Moses is describing, he said it's like Moses in Florida. He says those houses, those are for the early birds. They come from up north. Those are like the winter houses. Those the Canadians. You Canadians are Floridian. Don't get this wrong. Canadians are Floridian. Every time the winter up there in Canada, all those Canadians come down there. They never left. So he's like, well, those are the Canadians staying over there and stuff. My mother have a summer houses, but it's in the Bahamas. This is what Moses just telling me. He says it's in the Isle of Wonder. It's in the Bahamas. Because when you look at this is the fourth part. That's what he's talking about. He said the island, my mother has summer islands. They are all in the Bahamas and Jamaica and stuff. That's what Moses is describing right here. Okay. I am yet to conduct you thither, and also to the pyramids. You see pavilions of small islets and dear circular lakes. They are temples, or rather shrines, for the private devotion of the family. So you see the so-called 1% at that time, they got little lakes around. They got like their little private temples there, their little private shrine, their little private things. They go there, they do private stuff. They pray privately. If you catch my drift, like that father over there in Michigan that was caught, and then he had two quote unquote professional baker with him inside of the church with the door wide open with the camera right there fixing upon him, and they had light and action was going on, and they find his father bending over and two women behind him going into town. That really happened though. We made a video for those of you that are new here. Anyway, so he said those things over there, those are like, the private temples floating and stuff. And he was describing the yacht. He was describing the yacht and stuff. I feel like when Moses was in Florida, it's like those are things, stuff. And they were going around passing and all that beautiful places, and he was describing. And they are going a little bit further and then going. We left this lovely suburb and enter upon a broad road, which after crossing a plain of which stood the ruins of a palace of Ositasen one. So they left this place, this beautiful place. So the chariot still going. Now they saw a ruin of a place, and the place is belonging to one of the pharaoh called Ositasen one, the first one. Ositasen the first. So they are riding in that place. So, and then this is the description of the place. Wounded through a region of wheat fields which extended along the Nile as far as the eye could see. The laborers were chiefly Egyptian, and who wore the loins cloth and short trousers reaching halfway the knee, which have before described. So he reached like in a rural area. He saw a bunch of farmers. He saw a bunch of farmers, but those farmers were working on the field. They were Egyptian. He can tell because he can look at the facial features, and those are Egyptians. They were farmers. They were working on the they were working on the field. The moment the notice Ramesses passing on his chariot with him, they all bow down. They all stop what they were doing, and then they bow down, and Moses is passing by, waving them like, "Hey, what's up? This is Moses. You know me. I'm the son of the queen." If you didn't know. When they saw Ramesses, they sung cheerful songs as they walked and stopped to gaze after the whirling chariot, which passing across their lanes like a meteor and silver panel flashing in the sun. So, what happened here? Moses leaves the beautiful suburban area. Now he's entering the middle class. Moses was at the noble class. He passed the upper class. Now he's entering the middle class, the working class, so to speak. Those people were working, and then Moses is like a celebrity to him. They are running around trying to take his picture with the tablet. And, they were scribed back then. The paparazzis running after Moses and sorcerers, gazing and sing for him. Those were the middle class. So those were the Egyptian. Those were the laborers, okay, not the slaves. Those are the employees, the middle class. So he was passing the middle class. So he's going from noble, from the queen and king's noble, and then which is the upper class, and then he's going to middle class. We'll see what class he's going to find. About 20 stadia, or nearly 4 miles, all right, that's what that means, from the city, we came suddenly upon a vast desolated field, upon which thousands of men seems to be engaged in the occupation of making brick. As we drew near, for the wild world we were traversing passed directly through this busy multitude, I saw by their faces that the toilers were that mysterious race, the Hebrew people. You see what happened here, brothers? You see what happened? This dude, he came from his palaces with Moses or Ramesses, with his servants. He came out of the city, met the giants, let the servants go, and then he go down to the upper class. He saw those people with the private islands, private shop, and then he go lower to the laborers and stuff. Everything had structures just it is like right now. And then now to a vast, desolated place. And the burning sun, they saw thousands of men, women, and children making bricks. And when he looked close to those people, he like, those are the mysterious Hebrew race. Remember, brothers, back then in this time, the so-called Hebrew is erased from history. The name of a Hebrew, the stories of a Hebrew people, only certain people know about it. Most people don't know. Even and from Phoenicia, they don't know what that is. That's why the Phoenician prince Esdras, he is so striking. He wants to know who are those people and what did they do to deserve this type of treatment. He about to get there. He saw a vast places, like he saw multitude of people working, making bricks. Those are not farmers. Those are not laborers. Those are the slaves. Thank you, Sister Jesse Green. And you understand what's going on where he took Moses now. You know, if that chariot had door, he would have locked it and say, "Hey man, lock your door. You know where you at now. You're not. You're on the opposite side of the ley line, so to speak." I say, mysterious, dear mother, for though I have now been 6 weeks in Egypt, I have not yet found any of the Egyptians who can tell me whence come this nation, now in bondage to Pharaohs, either whom I question were ignorant of the rise or purposely refrain from talking with foreigners upon this subject. He said, "My dear mother, this is so mysterious. I've been in Egypt for 6 weeks. Every single Egyptian that I question, either they don't know who those people are or they choose not to answer who they are. They quickly change the subjects." Brothers and sisters, this has not, when you look at what's happening right over there, it's the same thing that's happening now. Who are those black people over here? Why they're being treating like this? Why they are locked up in this hood right there in this ghetto and performing those things? Why they are who are those people? Oh, those people. Well, I don't know. They need to pull themselves out of the bush. I don't know them. I don't know. I came in this country like you did. I did for myself, and I'm doing great. You know, this is their problem. What about you? Do you know? Nobody want to tell. Oh, those are black people. But yes, they look different from any other. Do they have a history? Oh, their history is like slavery. I know about this. I've seen it. Do they have anything prior to this? Who are those people? They are a bunch of bending people. They have no help. How could they? Who did this to those people and why? Everybody mind their own business. They don't want to tell who are those people and what happened to them. How did they end up here? You will remember that once I inquire of Ramesses as their origin and present degradation, and he said he would have some other time reply to my question. Since then, I has no opportunity of introducing the subjects against him and other objects wholly absorbing our attention when we met. So when he first saw the Hebrews, he was like, "Wow, who are those people?" He questioned Ramesses, and Ramesses, aka Moses, with a proud look, he said, those are Hebrews. Oh, nothing. Let's go." And then he said, "But why they are performing this? What did they do? Those people must have done a very heavy crime to deserve this type of thing." And Moses said, "We cannot talk here. When I have time, I will explain you." So now they are riding, brothers. They are taking a ride in the hood. They are driving through the hood. Now they see the condition of that guy see the condition of the people. Now he start talking. Yeah, we'll take a break probably at 11 o'clock. If we wish. Well, since I came late, we may not take a break. We're just gonna go full throttle. Yet in the interim, I have no idea what that word means. Interim. 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 In the interim, I was forced irresistibly to notice these people and their hard task, for though they were never seen in the streets mingling with the citizen, save only in palaces where the handsome Hebrew youth often serve as pages, yet where temples and granaries and walls and arsenals and treasure house were being erected, they were to be found in vast numbers. Old and young men, women and children, without distinction, were engaged in the plain across which we move. Sesostris watched. She said, when I look at those people, I never seen them in the rich neighborhood and intervening time. Meanwhile, all right, interim. So meanwhile, he was talking to Moses. He said, why I never seen those people downtown in the suburbs? The only one that I saw in the suburbs are the pretty one, the pretty girls, the little youth, the pretty boys, the one that are served inside of the temple performing certain tasks. The one that the one that is so very handsome. I never seen them here. I saw a few of them over there. But when it comes to building temples, when it comes to building granaries, walls, arsenal, treasure house being erected, they are all here. They are the builders. Why I never? But if they build this place, which they own it, where are they? Something's never changed, brother. He said, those people, I don't see them in that neighborhood where I stay at, where we stay at in the upper class. But I saw a few of them, the one that, the little servants, the pretty one. And when there is heavy construction, when there is heavy buildings to be ride, they are here. That's what he says. Pardon me, noble princes, I say. Permit me to linger a moment to savor this novel scene. So Sesostri said, give me a second. Let me look around and see. Let me look at the scene because he wants to see the scene. Give me a second, brothers. Let me see how many pages we have left. Oh boy. All right, let me move a little bit faster. Let me move faster. Pardon me. He drew his horse. So I think he drew his horse, and from the chariot I cast my eyes over the vast level which embraced half of a square league. So this is like 4 miles away. This field, and that's Moses talking, Sesostris. This field, says Sostri, said the prince, are where the brick are made, which are to erect the walls of the treasure city, one of the towers of which you behold 2 miles distance. The city itself will take the years of generation of these people to complete. If the grand design is carried out, on the left of the tower, you see the old palaces, for this is not the new city. So Ramesses just tell him, yo, this city that you see here, that we are building here. Oh, somebody said Big Judah just upload a video. All right then. Is it live or you upload? Oh, upload. All right. Once we finish this, we will go over there. We'll check the beloved brothers. Brother, don't let this keep you. If the Holy Spirit move you to go watch this video, go watch it, okay? And then you can come back. That is if you wish. Okay. We always tell our people to do whatever. Upload. All right, you upload, not live, but upload. So we will keep on moving. Once we're done, we will go over there. So Ramesses said, those people over there, we are going to build these cities. He's going to take many of their generation to complete this city. That means he's going to take hundreds of years to complete this city. Now, brothers, sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, Sesostris come upon where the Hebrews were. This is his description. The scene that I beheld from the height of the chariot, I will attempt to describe, my dear mother. As far as I could see, the earth was dark with people, some stooping down and with wooden mattocks digging up the clay. Others were piling it into heaps. Others were chopping straw to mix with the clay. Others were treating it with their feet to soften it. So he saw all people working. But keep in mind, brothers, those are people working. Some with moldeds were shaping the clay into bricks. Others stood by with the queen's mark and stepped on each brick therewith of the one which was on the head of a course when laid. So there were some who were making the bricks, and then there were some that stepped each bricks with the queen's sign. Like let's say the queen sign was Q and A. They put that sign and stamp it on it and then moving. He saw the Hebrew working in a quote unquote a factory, so to speak. Now, there were also the strongest men employed in raising upon the shoulders of others a load of these bricks, which they bore to the flat open space to be dried in the sun. And a procession of many hundreds was constantly moving, performing this task. Some of the slaves carry yokes which had cords at each hand, to which bricks were fastened, and many of the young men conveyed masses of clay upon their heads to the molders. Heavy burden, man. Heavy burden. He saw the people working. He saw some of the strongest men are lifting heavy bricks and put it on the head of other men so they can put it on another place in a flat area in the sun so those bricks will dry it up. He saw old men. He saw children. He saw young men. He saw young women. He saw old women. He saw all of them working. Those who carried the brick to the smoothly swept ground where they were to be dried delivered them to women who many hundreds in number placed them side by side on the earth and arose a lighter task than of the other men. So all those strong, well, not strong, all of the people somewhat strong, bringing all those heavy bricks, and then they were giving them to women. So the women had a lighter task. They were their job, which wasn't lighter at all, to push those bricks and align them next to each other, make them incline. The borders of this busy plain, where it touched the fields of stubble wheat, were thronged with women and children gathering straws for the men who mixed the clay. So the women and children, they were gathering straws in that heat for the men to make the bricks. It was an active and busy spectacle. It wasn't something they were doing so slow, brothers. It was fast moving. And then you'll know for a while if one of them moves slow, you know what would happen with one of them. They have to walk like animals. They have to do it very fast and push lifted things and walk. If some of them even put one of those things on the ground and try to catch his breath, they will call him lazy. They will beat him until they kill him. Yet, listen, brothers, yet throughout the vast arena, not a voice was heard from the thousand of toilers. Only the sharp authoritative tones of the task makers broke the stillness, or the cracking of carts with wooden wheels as laden with straws from distant field they moved slowly over the plain. With all of that, brothers, our people never complain. They don't even talk. They don't even say anything. Everybody's silently doing their task. All you hear is the voice of the taskmaster beating them, yelling at them. All you hear is the voice of the tools working. Everybody shut their mouths. They're just working, put the brakes, and then they don't do anything. All you hear is the taskmasters and calling and then yelling, lashes, and beat them with wads and move, you fools, you lazy, do this, you can do this, lazy and stuff, lazy, beat them. And our people never say the word. They were lifting those bricks. The laborers were divided into companies or parties of from a score to 100 persons, over whom stood was seated an Egyptian officer. These taskmasters were not only distinguished from the laborers by the linen bonnet, okay, or by the linen bonnet cap with the cape descending from the neck, but by a scarlet of striped tunic and a rod or whip of a single strong or of small cords. These men watched closely the workmen who naked above the waist, with only a loin cloth upon. Many of them walk each woman or walk each moment in fear of the lash. So you got the taskmasters dressing like they were they are, and then they got whip in their hands, and we got our people shirtless. Everybody shirtless. Men, women, shirtless, working, making breaks, and those guys don't give them a break. They were there moving, watching, yelling, and make sure that we do the heavy works. The taskmasters showed no mercy. But if the laborer sunk under his burden, he was punished on the spot and left to perish. If he were dying at his burden, transferred to the shoulders of another, so vast was the multitude of these people that the death of a score a day would not have been regarded. He said, those taskmasters had no mercy. If one of those brothers even tried to catch his breath, one of those, he will beat him. And the one that the load is too heavy fell, and the load fell on him. If anybody tried to try to take the load off of him, they will beat that person. They will let them die. He said one score, which is 20. If 20 die every single day, they don't care. They just keep beating them to perform the task. It's the same thing today, brothers. Those people, they see us shooting us down the street and stuff. 20 of us die a day and stuff. So what? But those people will answer for that, man. Indeed, their increase already alarms the Egyptian, and their lives therefore are held in little estimation. Okay? The vast revenue, however, accruing of the crown from the enslaved nation of Brick. You see, this is where it gets interesting. The vast revenue, however, accruing of the crown from the enslaved nation of brick makers leads to regulations, which is a great measure check to destructive rigor of the taskmaster. For not only are thousands build the cities, but 10,000s are dispersed all over Lower Egypt, who make a break to sell to nobles and citizens, the crown having the monopoly of this branch of labor. They were making money of this. They were making money. Not only our people used to make things to build Egypt, they were making them and sell to other people. They were making a hell of a lot of money. It's nothing different, man. It's the same old slavery. So the rich were making the money on all of that things. Okay, that's why they really didn't care. Interest alone has not prompted the queen to make laws regulating their treatment and lessening the region of their lot. But also humanity, which is, however, an attribute in its form of pity, little cultivate in Egypt. They say not only the money that the queen is making out of that's why you see those people had beautiful thing and they were partying all day, because they didn't have to work. Somebody was making all the money for them. Not only the money, the queen make even way more money in interest of the things that he was the bricks that he was selling, and then he had those people working for everybody for free. Well, they pay them, but the money go to royalty. So, and they had little regulation because they don't want to give any regulation. They were beating them and making money. Under the preceding, listen, okay? Under the preceding pharaohs for 70 years, the condition of this Hebrew was far more severe than has been under the milder reign of the queen. So 70 years ago, before the queen came to power, the condition of our people was 10 times worse. It's because the queen the queen, brothers, understands something. The queen as a woman understand. Now you'll understand what the Most High checkmate people. You'll understand the queen is a female. She's a woman. She understands something, and she know the truth about Ramesses. And for those of you that are listening and know the story, you know the truth that we're talking about. The queen actually lightened the work. What they were doing, what we're just describing here, those are light works, brothers. Those are light works based on what they used to do 70 years prior to that. Those were light works. The queen actually give them a little bit of a little bit of repose, so to speak. Okay. Listen, brothers. I am assured that she severely punished all unnecessary cruelty and has lightened the task of the women, who also may not be punished with blows. So the queen come up with a law, and then she severely punish the people that beat the women, and the people that and then she lightened the work of the women, so the women could not live like they used to make the women 70 years ago, lifting big blocks. They're not supposed to do this. So the queen put in law, if anybody ever put their hand in one of the women, that person will die. They will kill him. That was the law. Civil rights. Where this law respected, brothers, is the so-called civil rights of all people respected. They have laws down there say you can't do this to the women, because she was a woman herself. She doesn't want the women to do heavy work and the women being beat. So she put a civil right, law for them. Yet, what he saw the women performing and things like that. Yes. So that's the law the queen put in there for the women. I surveyed this interesting and striking scene with emotion of wonder and commiseration. Define that word, commiseration. 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 I could not behold without the deepest pity venerable and august looking old men with gray beards, with gray heads and flowing white beards, smeared with clay, stooping over the wood, molding, coarsely clad in a blue-gray loins cloth, which scarcely concealed their nakedness. So our people were basically naked. They just have a little something that hide their private parts, and that's it. Loincloth which scarcely concealed their nakedness, or fine youth, bareheaded and burned red with the sun, toiling like cattle under heavy burdens. Those are children. Here and there, upon the naked shoulder, visible a fresh crimson lining where the lashes of the rod of angered officer had left its mark. So our people they didn't have sympathy. All right, leniency. So that's why it fell for them. You saw the men, the women, the youth, their back was sliced, all red with blood, because they were beating them with those rods. Their back were bleeding. Okay. There were young girls too, whose beautiful faces, though sunburned and neglect, would have been the envy of fair ladies in any court. he saw something. He said the young women, the virgins, that's what they called them, the maidens, they were so beautiful, even though they were being beaten down in the sun. If they had proper care, and he understand why they keep those women out of the court, because they will have caused a problem to the other Egyptian women. Okay, these as well as the others of their sex wore a sort of tight gown of coarse material tied to their neck, which short closed sleeve reaching to the elbow. Their black or brown hair was tied in a knot behind or cut short. And occasionally I saw a plain silver or other metallic ring upon a small hand, showing that even in bondage has not destroyed a woman the love of jewelries. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High, brothers. There are no breaks. All praises. What that dude just said, he said, I see those women, the Hebrew women. They wear different type of clothes. He said, occasionally I see them. Their hair are well made, and behind their head they always put some type of jewelry. And he said, even in bondage, women always find a way to maintain their femininity. They always find a way to look beautiful. They always find a way to keep their feminine trait. Right now, you can't say this to women. These women will find that offensive. Like, why? So you say I can do what? That mean like this what he saw, he lightened the mood a little. He said, men, women, even they are in slavery, they always find a way to put some makeup on and look like women. That's our people, man. That's our people. As we walked along, those Egyptians who were near. Give me a second. Oh boy. All right, all right. We came upon a large mean town. Okay, now they're getting in the heart of the hood. They're getting in the heart of the hood. We came upon a large mean town of huts composed of reeds. This is page 73. Listen to this, brothers. We came upon a large mean town of huts composed of reed and covered with straws. There, say Rameses, are the dwelling of the laborers you have seen. They come to the worst part of the country. Bad houses made out of mud and huts, straws covering, and stuff like that. And Rameses said, there, this is the hood. This is Liberty City. This is Compton. This is Little Haiti. This is Atlanta, Georgia, not downtown. This is Mississippi, the worst part of Mississippi. Those where those people stay at. This is WAATTS. This is Watts, Mississippi. And then they're going to take a ride into the hood. This is Baltimore. This is Detroit. This is Chicago. This is where those people stay at. That's why they are allowed to stay. That's why they quarantine them. And say, let me take you to the hood. Let me show you. These huts form long streets or lanes which intersects in each other in all directions. So those houses were built like all over the place. Without like they were badly built. There was not tree to shade them. There weren't no tree. The streets and doors were crowded with children and old Hebrew women who were left to watch them while their parents were in the field. It's no difference than what's going on today, brothers. It's no difference. When they get to the hood, there's no shade. There's no tree to shade. There's no beautiful park. No place of leisure. Those people can come and stuff. All he sees is a bunch of little house, and he saw a bunch of children, little kids, little babies, and he saw a bunch of old ladies watching them. Brothers, this is where the Mosai put his mark. There seems to be a dozen children to every house. Bunch of kids. There seems to be a dozen children to every house. That's how much the kids were. So That's the most I put his mark. Each little hut have the 12 tribe in there. 12 kids. At least. Some of them more. There seems to be dozen children to every house, and some of 5 and 6 years were playing breakmaking. So the kids, the little kids, they were playing breakmaking. Okay, one of their number acting as a taskmaster, holding a whip, which he used with the willingness and frequency that show how well the Egyptians officers had taught the lessons of severity and cruelty to the children of their victims. And these huts dwell 40,000 Hebrews who were engaged either in making break or conveyed them to Rahamses. Okay, Rahamses close at hand and then place them in mortar upon the walls. So you got the little kids, the little 6-year-old kids, little boys, little girls playing breakmaking. Some of them were taking the role of taskmaster and playing making break because that's all they know. That's all they know. Their family know. It's the same thing today. You come up in the hood, all you see is like little boys, little girls playing robber and cops, drug dealers. I'm a shoot you. I'm a police. I'm a thief. I'm a stealer. I'm the bad guy. I'm the good guy. That's all they know. That's all they've been seeing. I'm gonna take you to prison. They are playing things that they see happen to their people. Besides that, they didn't know anything else. We passed through the very midst of this wretched village of bondmen, whose only food and their habitation is garlic and leeks and fish or flesh. They drink the turbid water of the Nile, unfiltered from its impurities by means of porous stone and paste of almonds, a process of art so well known to the Egyptians. This is page 73, the last chapter. He said, those people only food are garlic, leeks, Leeks, some fish, some meat, and unfiltered water, dirty water, the water of the Nile, the water of the sewers. Ain't no difference of what's going on in Flint, Michigan. Ain't no difference on what when you go to our hood, that it's all beat up and messed up. We don't have the good water, but yet we still here, we still survive. It's a horrible place. On the skirts of the village was a vast burial place. Now they reached the cemetery of the hood. And they lost this in the plane. They look. The cemetery brothers was so bad. It's just look little pile after little pile. No tombstones because the Hebrews were so poor they could not afford a tombstone. When he saw those mounds, I felt a sensation of relief when we left this spot behind and drove upon a green plateau, which lay between it and treasure city of the king. The place we were crossing had once been the garden of Hermes. Now they left the hood, they left the cemetery. Now they enter very a green place, and Sesostris feels some type of relief because he could not bear seeing those people living like that. Now he come to a place. The place we were crossing had once been the Garden of Hermes. Anybody know who Hermes is? The Garden of Hermes. 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 The god Hermes or goddess or whatever. The Greek god Hermes or woman. I'm not quite sure. Hermes, messenger of Zeus. Hermes, a Greek god. God of speed. All right. The Garden of Hermes or Eoseph. This is who they known back then as Hermes. Joseph, the celebrate prince who about 130 years ago saved the inhabitants of Egypt from perishing by famine, having received from the god of from having received from the god Osiris knowledge of a 7 years famine to befall the kingdom after 7 years of plenty. This prince Joseph or Joseph was also called Hermes, though he wrote not all the books attributed to Hermes as we in Phoenicia understand of that personage. More swagger jacking. You see what they did here? There was a garden dedicated to Hermes, aka Joseph. He said this Joseph came here 130 years ago. He received knowledge from the god Osiris, which showed you those people were taught to worship the real God. They just called the Most High Osiris. They know the Most High has those children under his wing. That's why they call his Osiris. They know the story when Joseph saved Egypt 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. That's the same thing for all blessing. All blessing has 1 year of complete fullness, and then the other year and hey. So they changed the name. They say, these these people over there, Hermes, a is in fact Joseph. That's why, brothers, when you listen to the story of Zeus, Hercules, and all that, and then when you start finding out, like, what if this is more swagger jacking of all people, man? Those were all the 12 tribes, man. They just take them and then put their own stuff into it. But Hermes back then is known as Joseph or Joseph the Prince. Was this Joseph an Egyptian? So for Sesostris don't know. He asked the Ramesses, he said, was this Joseph an Egyptian? I asked the prince Rameses as we dashed past the ruins of a palace in the midst of the gardens. No, a Hebrew, he answered. He was the favorite of the Phoenician pharaoh who commenced the palace of the city of treasure. A Hebrew? I exclaimed. Not one of the or the race that I behold about the toiling towards the city. And he said he was driving with Moses, and Moses was telling the story, and then he said, and this Joseph, was it an Egyptian? Moses said, Ramesses said, no, he was a Hebrew. So he was shocked. He said, a Hebrew? You mean a Hebrew just like the people we just saw in the hood? He said, yep, the same people. And he was shocked, like, wow, this dude was so smart. What happened to those people? Those people are such a grandeur, and now they're all slave. What happened? A Hebrew are enslaved, you know. And your replying reminds me, oh Ramesses, that you have promised me to relate it. So now, when Ramesses told him Joseph was a Hebrew who did all those great things, aka Hermes, and he told Ramesses, say, Ramesses, that just remind me that you did promise me you were going to tell me the history of those Hebrew people. But it's been 6 weeks. Moses, Ramesses is dashing, ducking him. Moses don't want to tell him. Ramesses don't want to tell him the story of the people. And Moses tell him, okay, I will tell you the story, but today's not the time, to tell you the story. So today's not the time, and I will tell you when the time is right. We soon drove up to a spot having passed several fallen columns, which had once adored the baths of the house of this Hebrew prince, who had once such a benefactor to Egypt. But as he was the favorite of the Phoenician king, the present dynasty neglect his monuments as well as deface all which the shepherd kings erect to perpetrate their conquest. So the new dynasty, the new people that swagger jack the land, they have law that says all the stuff that the shepherd kings did, Joseph and the 12 tribes when they were ruling, destroy all of it, deface them, whitewash them. Yes, baby. All right, sweetie. All right, already 11:19. All right, I'll continue the lesson, okay? All right. So they have a law that say destroy those things, deface them, don't talk about them. Yes, please. Fill me up. Thank you. Order. The ruined well was a massive quadrangular stone and was called the Fountain of the Strangers. Okay, they changed the name, the Fountain of Strangers. It was in ruins, yet the well itself sparkled with clear water as in its ancient days. Grouped upon a stone platform beneath the shade of three palms stood the party of artists who awaited the prince. Their horses and the hills in which they came in and brought up and stuff like that. So they had laws that you're not supposed to talk about what the previous dynasty did. The previous people that used to rule. Keep not erase everything that they say, crush everything that they did, never give any credit. Give those people, they were slave, they were born slave, and they're gonna die slave. They nearer still stretched their squality cities of huts and that gloomy burial place bordering on the desert and the far boundary. Turning to the south, the treasure city of Rahamses lay before me. The long, so he got to a point now he can see the whole city. He can see Memphis. He could get on top of a mountain. He can see Memphis. He can see On. He can see where the Hebrews stay at. He can see the city, the Rahamses. Okay, Rahamses is the treasure city. All right, let me see how many pages we got left. We got one more page, two more pages left. All right, and stuff like that. So to the east, the illuminated desert stretched far away. So he's looking at the place. Listen, he said to the east, the illimitable desert stretched far away, and I could trace the brown line of road along which the caravans travel between the Nile cities to the port of Suez. So the port of Suez always been there. Not that one in Egypt, but the port of Suez on the sea of Ezion Geber in order of and laid there for ships from farther in that are awaiting for them. Almost beneath the crumbling tower in which I stood, taking in this wide view of a part of the populous valley of the Nile, wounded a broad path well trodden by thousands of naked feet. It was now crowded with Hebrew slaves, some going to the city with burdens of bricks slung of the extremities of wood yoke laid across their shoulders. They had them pull those yokes, they had them pull those bricks. The Hebrews, he saw a bunch of Hebrews pulling bricks without horses. They were pulling the bricks by themselves from one city to another city to sell them. Borne upon their heads in order to return to the plain after having deposited a burden. It was a broad path of tears and sigh. He was so sad. And no loitering step was permitted by the overseers. That means while you are pushing those brakes, brothers, you could not stop once and breathe and catch your breath. The taskmaster will beat you. No loitering. You cannot just take a break. You have to pull those brakes from one city all the way up to the other city without pause. And no loitering step was permitted by the overseers. For even if one would stop to quench his thirst at the fountain, he was beaten forward, and the blows accompanied with execrations. Alas, mother, this cruel bondage of the Hebrews is the only dark spot which I have seen in Egypt, the only shadow of evil upon the brilliant reign of Queen Amises. So he said, mother, that's the only thing that I could sell that's very dark about Egypt. Just like the people over there that live outside America, brothers, they don't know what's going on here. All they see on TV, everybody's living good. There is no racism. There is no people suffering, no homelessness and stuff until they came here, until they go to the hood. And then they say America is not what I thought it was. But now they saw it all over the internet. Now they saw it all over the internet. So they knew the reality now. I took one more survey of the wide landscape, which embraced the abodes of 1 million of souls. For in the valley of Egypt are 14,000 villages, towns, and cities, and a populations of nearly 7 million. Yet the valley of the Nile is bare verdure, and then so he was giving a description of the place and things like that. Okay, and then he was walking around, and then he was looking the town, the places, the people, and then he come to a very specific place. Descending the tower, he saw here I behold by fountains, okay, where he was seeing all those Hebrews transporting the bricks, and he saw something. Here I beheld an old and majestic looking man bending over a youth, a wounded, and whose temple he was bathing tenderly with water from the wells. I perceive at the glance by the aquiline nose and lash shade dark bright eye that they were Hebrews. So he come up upon two people. He saw old men taking care of a young boy, and the young boy was bleeding on the side of his head. So the old man was taking water, washing the face of the young boy and washing the blood in the side of his head. So he come up. The old man had one of those Abrahamic faces I have described as extent of the tomb of Eliezer of Damascus, a broad, extensive, and high forehead, a boldly shaped eagle nose, full lips, and flowing beard, which would have been white as wool, but it was stained by yellow by the sun and soil. So he saw this old man. He saw the face of this old man. He has like a nose like this, proper nose, like an eagle nose, not like straight nose. Just flat nose, full lips, gray beard. His beard was have been white, but since he been staying in the sun so much, his beard being yellow. He wore the coarse short trouser and body cloth with the bound slave and old sandals bound upon his feet and rope. So he come upon this old man and this his young boy, and he stand there, he's watching them. At this moment he saw an Egyptian taskmaster entered, and with his rod struck the venerable man several sharp blows and ordered him to rise to go to his task. He made no reply regarding not the shower of the blows, but bending his eyes tearfully upon the marble face before him with his fingers, softly removed the warm drops of blood in the temples. So while he was fountain washing in the temple fountain, Egyptian taskmaster got in there, started beating him up. He started whipping him with a whip. Blood is flying everywhere. The old man didn't say anything. He just wiped the blood off the temple. He was, tears was falling off his eyes, and then he just wiped the blood, and then he just stand up, and then Sesar Street said, "Nay!" I say quickly to the Egyptian, "Do not beat him. See, he's old and caring not for this poor youth." Sesar Street could not take it anymore, brothers. Oh, buffering. All right. I'm buffering. Let me know when I'm coming back, brothers. Oh, boy. All right, buffering. They cut the story. I'm going to wait until the people. Buffering. Am I good? Am I good? Is it back? All right. Okay. All right, I'm back. Thank you, brothers. Thank you. So Sesashi say, "No, stop beating him. Don't you see he's an old man trying to help the little boy? Stop beating him. And the Egyptian turned around like, who the are you, Negro, to tell me not to do my job? And the Egyptian turned around what he turned around with the what he was going to hit Sesostris, thinking Sesostris is one of those regular Hebrews. And then he turned around, he was about to hit Sesostris, and then when he looked, he like, whoa, this guy is royalty, and he was with Moses. He's like, what? That's the guy that was with Moses. Ramesses wasn't with him. He turned around. The Egyptian looked me with an angry glance, as if he would have chastised the speaker for interfering. When seeing from my appearance that I was a man of rank, and perceived also the prince through a passage of the ruined wall, he bent his forehead low and said, my lord, I did not see you, or I would have taken the idol great beard out of and beaten him. Let me explain to you what happened here. This man was beating this old man. And when he turned around, he heard that person, don't beat this guy. He was like, who are you to tell me? And he was about to strike that person. And he saw it was one of those high-ranking dude. And then he quickly put his head down and said, my lord, I did not see you. If I did see you, I would have taken him somewhere else and I would have beat this old man. You know what that mean? That mean all those people, they have an unspoken rule about treating our people. You can treat them as bad as you want, but don't do it in front of me. Don't do it for the cameras. You're gonna make us look bad. Some of them, brothers, some of those people out there, they're very well known what's going on, but they don't want anything to disturb their peace. They don't want anything to disturb their blessing. I know you people are going on to this thing. I don't want to know about it. If you're going to kneel on this guy's neck and kill him, do it in the alley. Do it in the wood. Do it somewhere people won't see this. You do that thing on camera, I mean, what the hell? And he said, I'm sorry. If I see you, I would have taken somewhere else, I would have beat him. Most of the people around the world, brothers, they know the condition of our people. They simply don't want to see it. And the people, it's an unspoken rule. They know that. They're like, okay, I'm sorry, man. But he thought Sesostris was one of them. Do it out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to go to sleep and thinking that I saw some dude kneeling on somebody's neck and kill him, man. Come on now. Come on, man. Don't do this. That's He said, if I knew, master, you were watching me, I would have go take him somewhere else and I would have beat him. I would have not doing this in front of you. That's what's going on here. All right, we're on the last page. But why beat him? I asked. And Sesostris was angry. He said, but why do you beat him? And he said, his Lord awaits him on the road where he dropped it. When my second officer struck down this youth fellow who stopped to gaze at a chariot. So Sesostris asked, why do you beat those old men? He said, well, my lord, he dropped his weight, the thing he was carrying, he dropped it. So this boy that he's with him stopped to look at the chariot that was passing by. So I had to beat him. And he said, why are you doing this? Why you keep beating them? And then he said, Sesostris said, what relation do they bear to each other? Okay, what is this old man and this young boy? What are their relationship? This old man, young son, this is the old man, youngest son. He is a weak fool, my lord. About him, and though, as you see, he can hardly carry a full load for himself, he will try and add on to his own a part of the breaks the boy should bear. Come, an old man, leave the boy and go do your work. So he said, What are their relationship? You say this is the old man, young son. As you can see, this old man is a fool. He's weak. He can't even carry his own weight. And then he was trying to take some of the boy weight and put it on his and lighten the load of the boy to his. He can't even do it. And then Sesostris angrily and asks, why they doing this? Why you are making, doing those things? And the age Hebrew raised to my face and look of despair, trembling with mute appeal, as if expecting no interposition, yet had no other or hope left. So, and then the Egyptian, the taskmaster tell the old man, get the F back to work now. And then the old man is shaking, and then he's looking at Sesostris, and then he thought Sesostris was giving the order for him to be strike down. And Sesostris say, leave them here. I said, I will be responsible for the act. This is brothers, this is a very, very serious thing there. Okay? This is very serious. Sesostris tell the old man, leave this here. I'll be responsible for this. And then the old man leave the load there. The taskmaster said, but I am under a chief captain who will make me account for him for every brick not delivered. The tale of bricks that leaves the plain and that which is received are taken and compared. I have a certain number of men and boys under me, and they have to make up their load and give and tell of bricks between sun and sun, sun up and sundown. Because back then they didn't know the difference between sun up and sundown. Well, they do, but that's not how they refer it. If they fail, I lose my wages. This was spoken solemnly. Define that word solemnly. Sullenly. Solemnly. So this Egyptian fellow say, look, listen, man, there is a certain amount of men and boys that I have under me. I have a chief captain over my head. If I don't beat them to bring a certain amount of bricks from one place to another, when they get there, they're going to count them and I will not get paid. That's why he was beating them. And the Sesostris said, how much he said, what is that wages? How much you come? How much money they pay you? And then he said, a quarter of a scarabus. Okay, a scarabus is the money of the Egyptian back there. He said a quarter of a scarabus, which means 25 cents, like $25. He said, I get paid $25. And then he answered, this is the common cheap coin bearing the sacred beetle cut in stone, copper, lead, and even wood. It's not even real money. Listen to this. This is the cheap coin bearing the sacred beetle cut in stone. This money is cut out of stone, copper, lead, and even wood. Paper money. Money that's cut out of the earth is not even gold and silver. It's just wood money. They just chip some wood, they carve it. This paper money. That's why the police or brutalize all people. They won't get paid. You got people over them. Stone money, rocks, pebbles. Money in this form I have not yet heard in Egypt. An Egyptian purse is a necklace of gold, rings, and greater or less value. The scarabæus is often broken in 4 pieces. Each fraction containing hieroglyphic. The value is equal about a Syrian nephew. So one of those things is it's like $1. It's $1 is 4 quarters. This dude wages was 25 cents. Meaningless currency. This dude wages was a quarter, 25 cents. I placed in his hand a copper scarabæus and say, go thy ways. This shall justify thee to thy conscience. These Hebrews are too helpless to be further service thee this day. So he gave them a copper scarabæus. Instead of giving one of those wooden money, he gave them a copper. A copper is like, instead of this dude receiving 25 cents. He gave this dude $100. Say, here, this should be more than enough. Leave those Hebrew people alone. They can't do this work. Like, get the hell out of here. And this dude was way more happy. He just grabbed that money. Thank you, sir. And then he bolted off. The taskmaster took the money with a smile of gratification. Yeah, this dude was happy, like, damn! 25 cents, brothers. Brother, that's like you getting paid, let's say, $150 a day. And somebody came in and give you $100,000 in one day. Take this. Took that bag of money, took that 100,000 G's, and then I'm pretty sure that guy got to the place to say, "Oh yeah, that Hebrew guy, he died. So he's your quarter stamp, and then I'm retired. I'm gonna take my wife, my children. We're going to move and upper and buy some stuff like that." So he took that money with a smile and gratification, and at once left the court of the fountain. He didn't even talk. He just take the money and then he smiled and then he left the court. The whole Hebrew looked at me with grateful surprise, caught my hand and pressed it on his heart, and then covered with kisses. So the old man was so grateful, and then he ran to Sesostris, took his hand and put his hand on his heart as a sign of mercy and respect, and then he kissed his hand. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And he thanked him because he was about to die. And covered with kisses. I smiled upon him with friendly sympathy and stooped down, raised the head of the young man upon my knee by our uniting, and he soon restored the sensibility. But, my dear mother, I will, with your permission, continue my narrative and other letter. The trumpets which from the temple of Osiris proclaim that the last rays of the setting sun are disappearing from this summit also warned me to draw my letter to a close. The essence of the altar rise into the blue or the golden. It's time to, pray your affectionate son, Sesostris. All praises to the Most High. We stop here in page 79. Tomorrow we might take letter 7. Letter 7 is way better. Oh, letter 7's got some poetic justice in there, man. Letter 7 got some poetic justice. Now, brothers and sisters, you see the type of the things that our people used to go through, the type of torture, the type of burden they used to go through, okay? This fellow, Sesostris, brethren, is quote-unquote a Gentiles, yet he had compassion for our people. He paid for our people to be alive. He saved the life of 2 men, a young boy and an old man, because he could not bear it anymore. Understand this, brethren. A lot of those people out there, not a lot, I would say 95% of them, they are well aware of what's going on to our people, but they really don't care. Don't do it in front of me. But some of them, brothers, once they see truly how they are treating our people, they will step in. They will step in and say, no, you won't do this. I will not let you do this. They cannot bear doing this. It's 2 things. Either they are one of our people or they're one of the good Gentiles. Now, brothers, understand this. This is all of the Most High. All of those things happen because the Most High want to make his power known. And you know what happened to the so-called Egyptian. It is the same thing going on today, brothers. It is the same thing. Now we cry unto the Most High. The Most High heard us. And he's bringing the plagues. He's bringing the plagues, brothers. The Most High is bringing the plagues. It's the same thing, brothers. It's the same thing. But right now, something is something changed. Yeah, this guy could not listen to what they are saying. Remember, brothers, in all the stories that we read, we find out some of those Gentiles, they weren't Gentiles at all. They were just lost brothers that came back and they got the connection through the Holy Spirit and stepped and then helped us. And the Messiah make them king. And you know the Messiah will not do things like that if they were truly, another people. Okay. All right. They some of them are very good Gentiles. So like Abimelech was one of Abraham's best friend. Okay. Eliezer was like Abraham's son. Eliezer was like the first son of Abraham. Yeah, the murder of George Floyd. They see things like that. Okay, all those things that was happening in Egypt. Those people were partying. You know the party. They weren't aware of that. Guess what? When you get to letter 7, you're like, aha. This is the same. That is why the Messiah let the whole George Floyd thing going on, brothers. When a bunch of things are happening to us, we assume that other peoples know about it. We assume the entire world know about it, but they don't. They don't. So let me see. Yeah, so brothers and sisters, that was this tomorrow. If we have time, if the Musa allow it, and we will come back and read letter 7, where there's a good poetic justice in there, and you will understand what was going behind closed door, what was going on, and how things was going, brothers. Okay. Now it's already 11:45. I don't want to hold the people for too long, brethren. So by the power of the Most High vested in me, I will leave all of you in peace, and you can take it this far anytime you feel like. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, be at peace. I will see you tomorrow, and we will pray and raise the name of the Most High, and then maybe at 2:30 p.m. we will go into letter 7. May the King reign forever. Shalom.